So I know I told you guys I was not upgrading to the x100 and I lied. This is still my x100v and I'm keeping this. I'm not selling it. I'm not doing any of that. My x100v took a tumble onto cement the other day and it's okay. I did notice my filter, which this is a good reason to have a filter. My filter is dented and I'd have a new one on the way. And then there's also some dents on the bottom. I didn't have this little half case on, which I've now also realized I probably should just keep on there. The problem is, like the other day when it happened, I had packed my camera bag for a shoot and this added so much, even as little as that is, it added more bulk to it. So I just didn't have it on because I was like, well, it'll fit in my camera bag. So I took my small camera bag, but I still took my Canon gear, which took up a lot of space. Same with like if I carry a tiny purse and I carry this with me, having this on it doesn't fit in my tiny purses. So that's part of why I don't always use it. And to be fair, it was my husband who dropped it and I love him, but he is not, one of us is clumsier than the other, I'll leave it at that. And I had the strap on it. He just had set it down and then went to move something and knocked it off this like ledge onto cement, which was only about like 1.5 feet, so it wasn't terrible. I was still panicked. And he felt so bad. He was like, I'll just buy you a new one. I'll buy you a new one. And I'm like, you can't. But also it made us both realize, like, I carry this everywhere. This is, I don't want to say my most prized possession because that sounds weird, but honestly, aside from like maybe my wedding ring, this really is. I would rather something happen to my phone than something happen to this. Because this is, for me, this is how I document our life. And I may take photos of the silliest, stupid little things to most people, but to me, they are the memories that I love to look back on, and I don't like taking this on my phone. That's, again, my just preference. And I realized if something happened to this camera and I was without one because the wait list is so long, I would be devastated. Like, I would have a really hard time with that. And so my husband was like, you know what, it makes sense. It's a valid thing for you to have a spare camera when that's the camera you carry every single day. And I know people in here will try and tell me that I don't need that one. I can just carry a different camera or something else, but this is my decision. It's not yours. I have an X70. It's not the same as this. I love it, but if that was the only camera I had for a while, that would be hard for me. It's much wider, slower, older. It doesn't do as well in low light. It's not the same. And I couldn't just get a new x100v because obviously they stopped making those and I'm not paying over $2,000. I will not pay over retail. I will not. So I also decided, if I'm going to get a new one, I might as well get the newest one. And then this will become my backup if something happens to the 6. So I like the idea of having 2 x100 cameras just because I carry this everywhere, every day. And I do take it on my professional shoots. I have used it for occasional like wedding photos, not like the whole wedding, like I use my Canon gear, but like this provides extra little photos, and especially those candid moments, like when you're trying to just like be quietly in the scene getting photos, like this does an amazing job and nobody notices. Whereas if I have my giant Canon up trying to get photos during reception or things like that, people notice. This is so easy to get those genuine moments with that I've loved using it. So I do use it for my business too. And having the new one with the IBIS and the 40 megapixel sensor and also just the new film simulation sounds great to me, but also because that's really the only option now to get that instead of, I can't order an x100v anymore. And like I said, I don't want to get someone else's used one, pay over the price. Like I'm not doing that. Especially because I am keeping this. I'm not trying to sell it to get money towards the other one. It's just, we're going to make it work. But for me, that makes the most sense. Like this is the perfect camera for me. I have an X-T30. I'm aware that if I put a pancake lens on it, it would be similar. It's still not going to be as small as this. And I prefer to have this with just this lens and that's it. It's weather sealed. Like all those things are super important to me. So I just like, I don't want anything other than this. Like I know some people may have preferences on, oh, well, you don't need to get that. Just use this instead. That's my preference. But I went to the camera store yesterday where I ordered this one. When I ordered this one last year, I was able to get this 2 months to the day from when I ordered it from them. Like, but I think I was only like 20 something or 30 in line for the V. When I asked yesterday, she was like, currently our wait is 135 people, so you would be right after that. And she said it will be at least 6 months. She said they've only gotten 33 units in so far total. So knowing also that I have that much time until a new one would even be there for me, and like in that time frame, who knows what could happen to this camera, knowing that I at least am on the list to get one makes me feel better too if something were to happen, because there's nothing else I can do. That's kind of it. So it was just kind of one of those moments where like I never thought about upgrading. I never thought about having to have a backup of this until I realized what would happen, because I can't just go out and buy one if something happens. Like, it's not like if something happened to my Canon R8 and I can just go buy it. Like, yes, this is covered under insurance, but like you can't physically go buy one right now. So like that's more the issue, is the supply and demand issue. I would rather know that I have one at least ordered, and then eventually that I have a backup if something happens. I'm not worried, because I do honestly carry this every single day with me. The only times I haven't carried it are when there's like a show or a venue we're going to where they're very specific about only, I have had one venue say shirts pocket size cameras, which my X100 should be able to cover that, but this did not. And that's the only time I've had that issue. But like other than that, like every show we go to, every sporting event we go to, this comes with me literally everywhere. So this is important to me personally for all the memories we make. And I'm actually excited that with the new one I can do more little home video clips. Like, I don't do long video clips. I do some on here occasionally and they do look really good, but it'll be nice to have the IBIS to do those in the future. So I'm kind of excited about that. So, and I did order a new filter, because this one, you probably won't be able to see it well on here, but it is dented. So to be fair though, this Tiffin Pro Mist filter held up very well against the cement. So it's a good one.